I know you're tired of listening to people saying invest in the market for the next 20 years and then all your dreams will come true.
So, I tried to fulfill the dreams of 50 people in the office.
Listen up, guys.
We've put a board over here. I want you to put all of your short-term goals, your wishes, over there.
I remember when you opened up that door.
Trip with the boys!
I want a car.
So we're going to use this to figure out two things. One, what are all the options available for you to actually invest in a shorter term? And second, I'll actually give you a calculator so you can figure out what works for you. Let's look at the first one, which is a savings account. It's basically a bank account offering some kind of savings rate. You have normal bank accounts giving you some savings rate. You have some lesser known banks giving you a higher savings rate. So you have savings account as an option. This is between 3.5% all the way to 7% depending on what bank you actually inquire. And the risk is relatively lower.
And the best here is savings deposits are liquid. You ask for money and the bank gives it back. No lock-in.
Taxation is the most important, but I'll tell you in the end. So let's see, savings account mein you can maybe finish a book because this doesn't require any money, it requires time. जो आपके पास नहीं है because you're working overtime. This is savings account. Of course, you can do a lot more with the savings account. I'd love to hear what you've done, but let's move on to the next option, basically investing in low duration bonds. A lot of companies borrow money from the public and institutions for operations for a very short period of time. That's 0 to 90 days. Now the returns you can see over here, 6 to 7%. What you have to figure out is what kind of instrument makes sense for you versus just the returns, which is not too much in your control.
These funds carry very low risk because their NAV does not move too much like equities. For liquidity,
this takes between 2 to 3 days for your money to come back. So if you exit on a Monday, that's transaction day. +1, that's Tuesday. Tuesday evening, you will receive the money. Or T+2 would mean Wednesday evening, you'll receive the money. So that's something you should know, that it's not immediately available like a savings account. So let's see if we can find something on the board to actually solve. And I guess the iPad is possible, the Shure mic is possible, but I'll pick the iWatch. As we move ahead of this and we keep going up the ladder of the different options, we will be able to remove more stuff out because time is where wealth is built, right? So if you give a little more time, then आपसे भी pressure कम होता है and you're able to actually make those goals a lot. Remember, if you want to make your life tough, make the goals big and make the goals short term. It'll mess up your life. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's see the next option. Then we have the favorite instrument for all Indians, fixed deposit and recurring deposit. I'll do this together. Basically very simple. It's a bank deposit with money locked in. A recurring deposit is the same thing, but it happens every single month. So it builds the habit of savings. I think it's an absolutely amazing product because not only does everyone have a bank account, but they can actually create a recurring deposit or a deposit in their mobile app and start immediately. Money is not actually built in choosing the right product and waiting for a long time. Money is built in the micro habits that is created when you do small decisions every day. So once you start building the right habits, the smallest decision today to even start a 1,000 rupee fixed deposit or a recurring deposit changes you 10 years from now. And we can see here that the returns are between 6 to 7%. But frankly, for senior citizens, it's slightly different. For the tenure, it's different. So please check with your bank. The risk is considered very low, but remember, the risk is never zero. I've heard people say fixed deposit carries no risk. Not true. There is an insurance on top of your fixed deposit, but there is risk. The bank can go bankrupt, it can run out, and you can lose your FD. No investment is zero risk. There is some risk in everything. Fixed deposits do not beat inflation. Not true. This is overly simplistic. In 2013, we have all the way to 2024, we have fixed deposit rates and we have inflation rates. And on the right, we have the real return. Every single year was a positive percentage increase in terms of returns, except 3 years. -2%, -0.1%, and -0.3%. So first we can do the show mic, and I think it's 50,000, I'm guessing. Uske baad we have Ladakh trip. Yeah, this is also possible in something like a fixed deposit. It's basically saving smartly And yeah, that's possible. Cat 99 percentile, इसके लिए दिमाग चाहिए, savings नहीं. Then we come to the arbitrage mutual fund. First, let me explain what arbitrage is. Imagine you're buying a packet of paneer from a particular company. Same grammage, same company, same everything, and it costs 100 rupees in this shop. But if you walk slightly ahead on the other side of town, the same thing, same product, same company, same quality is 110 rupees. Now imagine if you could buy from this shop and sell it to that shop, you'd make 10 rupees profit. The same commodity is mispriced or has a very big gap in price in two different marketplaces. So in arbitrage, the difference is between spot and futures or between cash and futures. My point is very simple. There is the futures market and the cash market. Dono mein there is some difference. At the end of the month, that difference becomes zero, and therefore this is an opportunity to earn money. Funds can actually make money by doing an arbitrage strategy. You can see the average returns in the last 1 year for these funds. Remember, this keeps changing, but if you look historically, it gives some okay returns over a period of time. Remember, it has a T+3 settlement and the risk is low, but a lot depends over here on volatility. If the market moves a lot, the arbitrage funds actually do pretty well. If the market's very stale, kuch ho nahi raha hai, maza nahi aa raha hai, there's no volatility, then the arbitrage funds do not make as much money because the difference between the two instruments is not very wide, and therefore they don't make a lot of cash because of that. So over here we can use, you can do trip with family, pro camera, okay. Kura kagaz man mera. iPhone Pro, yeah, this is quite easily done. International trip with boys. है ना? I wonder who did this. Who is the one person in office who wants छुट्टी all the time?
सर मेरे को छुट्टी चाहिए. सर मेरे को छुट्टी चाहिए सर. सर वेकेशन. सर छुट्टी दे दो प्लीज. सर.
Then we have the equity savings mutual fund. So about 65% is invested in equity. That's the growth portion. And the rest is invested in the fixed portion, giving you stabilized returns, stable returns. The interesting thing over here is your horizon increases from something like a few years to 3 to 5 years because you are now looking at something that has a large equity portion of it. So any of these things like I want to buy a car gets into this because now the wait time is slightly longer. There's another card here. What else? Anything else? Can you point something? Foreign trip. Yeah, you can add that as well. But you get my point. Now over here, what we've done, this is not a fast rule. Like these things can interchange, right? A lot of this thing can be done in a fixed deposit as well. Our idea was to basically pull this out from actual people's short-term wishes and turn them into what they possibly could be. Travel plus DSLR. LV Air Jordans. I don't know how much this is for, so I'll leave it here. कितने का आता है? So now let's move on to the next option. That's the conservative hybrid mutual fund. But before I do that, I want to talk about this. By this time, you've thought about everything you want. Hopefully, you've posted something in the comments. If you've not, please hit the send button right now. I need you to think. Every time you add something to your list, you take away something from this list. There is nothing wrong in wanting stuff. It's fine. You're earning it. You're working hard. But remember, it comes at a cost that's more than just money. So I'm going to put this somewhere important. I'll put it right next to my laptop. So it reminds you that peace of mind is more important than anything else. Anyway, a hybrid fund has 10 to 25% in equity and the rest is in bonds. So it's way more stable because it's diversified into fixed income more. So it's relatively lesser riskier than your equity mutual savings fund. Returns, of course, vary. It could be anywhere between 9% to 11%. The settlement is T+1 or T+2. And now let's talk about taxation, the most important part. We created this table right here, but I wasn't sure if it's right or wrong. So I asked my friend Vishwajit.
Pratik, this is spot on. Anyhow, short-term investments are taxed at higher rates and investors must know about this.
Now that we know all the options, this sheet will give you clarity. It takes your goal, shows what you already have, what you're saving, and the gap you still need to cover. And at the end, helps you decide whether do you save more, extend the timeline, or change the goal itself.
So I'll pick something which is very tough. something that you need a calculator for. ये किसने लिखा है? ये नहीं होगा. ये नहीं होगा. I wanted to pick, this one, sorry. The vacation to Paris. Now, a trip to Europe is not cheap and you have to make sure that you can actually calculate it. So, let's calculate it. I'm going to put it here. Let's put a target date for this. I'll put 2026 December. So, it's 1 year and something few months. Amount needed is, let's say, 2.5 lakh rupees. Inflation is 6%. Current corpus, what I have for this trip is 50,000. And current monthly investment is 5,000. You can change this. Now here is when the art of investing or the art of choosing happens. We have priority. Priority means how important is this to you? One means this is very important. It's as important as... And 5 means it's not that important. Maybe I should... It's okay if I don't do it for some time. It doesn't matter that much. Now here is where the automatic calculation happens. You'll see here it says 90 day to 3 year. If I scroll all the way to the right, I can see what instrument I have for 90 day to 3 years, which is liquid funds, low duration debt funds. Now remember, this is not a recommendation. It's a calculator that you can use to make your choices easier. If this doesn't make sense, you can obviously change the choices. But let's see what we've got so far. I have an inflation adjusted amount. I have an expected return. So if you think the expected return here is wrong, you can reduce it. Then you have the required monthly amount to invest. Over here, it's 9,000 rupees. Now I know we were investing 5,000. There is a funding gap of 4,164. That means मुझे 4,164 रुपए महीने के extra डालने पड़ेंगे to actually meet this expectation. The tweak can also be you can increase the risk to a higher, riskier product and hope that it works. This is never recommended. Ideally, you should do the others, that is increase the amount or decrease the budget. This also will tell you a tweak time. Can I extend this goal by another 6 months to actually hit this? So you'll know. Or it just says by rework the budget, add a lump sum or add some more money and then you'll be able to do it. Also, this is not a perfect calculator. So for every situation, it will not give you the absolute rightest answer. Rightest कुछ होता नहीं है. But इसमें भी you don't have the best answer.